I wanted to watch, let's see here, Diablo for in-game builds, and then we're gonna look for Sorcerer. Okay, we're gonna start with Sorcerer. I want to see some gameplay for some of these. Oh, you guys want to see Barbarian? No, I'll show you what I'm gonna play after this.
And by the way, North Ward does not have like a full setup here.
So he's level 73.
He's level 73.
Yeah.
But hopefully the quality here should improve here in a second. There we go.
I feel like this is pretty fast.
He's still using the snake, so he doesn't have the unique to pull everything in. But notice how you have a machine gun. Your attack is literally a machine gun.
Look at all those elites. Holy fuck.
They've got a big old pack of elites.
God damn.
Boom. Gone.
Holy shit.
And you notice they were barely hitting him because they're always crowd controlled. You can see the Frost Nova doing major damage, even though he probably doesn't have the build fully online. You can see him throwing the ice shards everywhere.
Too many buttons. Next. Yeah, true. I'll show you guys what I'm going to play after this. I solved that button problem.
This looks fun. I'm gonna have to make this. This looks way too fun. Sorcerer's got some good builds, man. Sorcerer, one of the most well-rounded. You can actually play Lightning or Frost.
You guys want to look at the Druid builds first?
Or Fire, even.
Let's look at the Druid builds.
I don't know, man. Sorcerer, they seem to have...
yeah, let's see what they got going on.
A lot of the other classes seem to have, like, one build that seems way better. There's the pull.
Yep, there it is. I don't know what's doing, like, that massive amount of damage. I guess maybe it's, like, vulnerability proc, and then everything dies.
We're going to get rid of the snake.
Ooh.
Sacred Dagger. And an ancestral unique staff.
That's a big loot situation. Let me see this one here. All right, we're going to look at some more of them. Best Druid endgame build. Oh, God. Druid Pulverize endgame guide. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. There's not even any gameplay. Nobody even wants to look at it. It's God tier. But there's no gameplay. Druid endgame. Okay, let me see. Is there any gameplay at all? Oh, here we go. Here we go. This guy played 100 hours of Druid.
I played 100 hours.
Oh my God, of course it's this guy. This guy's used to getting fucked by Blizzard. He played Diablo Immortal. Yeah, of course it's him. He's like, listen, he's like, he can't play a Barbarian. He's gonna have to fucking play the worst class. Here we go. Let's see it. Druid endgame gameplay. Gameplay and showcase. All right, let's go.
Hours of the Diablo 4 Druid during the early access preview build that I had available to me. During that time, it was really my mission to get as far as I possibly could with the Druid. I was mostly concerned with understanding the class, if it was going to be strong late game, and if it was as bad as they say early.
Yeah.
So one of the things you're going to notice about the Druid is that it is very slow to begin.
Okay, all right. So right off the bat, we're going to have to start off with the negative. It is very slow at the start. And I want you guys to understand that, like... This cannot be understated.
When you're walking around, you're a slow character. When you're attacking things, you have to build spirit generation. When you're fighting bosses, you're melee-based very often if you're doing the melee-based builds. So you're going to have to be dodging abilities. It can be difficult when you're starting out the game.
Absolutely.
So don't feel too bad if your first experience with the Druid is, I don't like this class. It's very slow. I mean, it feels slow already. I'm only like just about to hit 22 here. I'm thinking it might be a one-shot god later on. Just see what happens, you know?
Bro, like, I love how every Druid is just like, bro, in the future, like, it's like listening to people that are involved with QAnon. They're like, guys, just 2 more weeks, and Donald Trump is going to arrest everybody, all the Democrats. Everybody's going to go to jail. The Patriots are going to take over. Just 2 more weeks, guys. This is Druid players. Right here.
Just trying to like put all my bias aside about what I believe about the game until I get to later on in the game now. That's a lot of people's experience, and it's a teeter-totter. The balance is what will come later in the game.
Right.
The beginning of the Druid will feel way worse than the mid to late game Druid. Even honestly, you could beat the whole campaign and still not be enjoying the Druid. It did not get better until 55, 60, right around the mid game.
Guys, Druid gets good at level 97.5. That's whenever you're actually able to like really make plays. Yeah, at 97.5, that's whenever it's almost as good as like the second worst class.
A few tips.
Yeah, but then once it gets to 100, it goes back down.
Starting out the Druid is don't be afraid to use some skills in the beginning that once you get some modifiers later you might not actually need. For instance, if you want to do a werewolf build, it's still not a bad idea to try using the werebear Pulverize for that enhanced overpower. This gave me some pretty good crits, and then also scaled in the late game as we talk about that.
Mid-game impressions. Okay, here we go.
So let's talk about the mid-game for Druid. It's a good...
By the way, none of this is necessary. There is no reason that Druid can't be good at level 1. Druid should be good at level 1.
Good idea to make sure you have an understanding of what build you want to work towards.
No reason.
You're starting to min-max, you're starting to use resources to level up gear, you're starting to hit that level 50 so you can unlock your Paragon board. Right around the mid-game, you start to see that damage per second is a combination of having the spirit to spend, as well as having the damage when you do spend that spirit. And if you overcommit to just, I have infinite spirit because I put all of my legendary aspects and points and all that in the spirit generation, but you never really hit very hard, that can feel quite bad. The same way hitting very, very hard like One Punch Man can feel bad if you can only do it every 10 seconds or something.
Well, what if like you don't hit very hard and you also can't do it very often? Because like that's what I've been seeing. Like that's my experience. Yeah, like what if it's like both?
The mid-game for Druid is when you start to understand your character. Maybe you're starting to get a few legendaries that have some synergy. You're starting to see how the builds cohesively go together, as that's one of the cool parts about Druids. You can have a werebear and a werewolf build together. You can have a storm and werebear build. You can have a earth and werewolf type of build. By mid-game, around level 50, it's really time to have decided that. Around level 50,
yeah, I saw that there were some people who were unhappy that the numbers for Diablo 4 were already getting into the millions, and they thought it was kind of ridiculous that like you can already do that much damage. I did actually read a solution to that, and how to fix it is if you feel like the numbers are too high, you just play a Druid. Oh, that's good.
Decided that. You will have experienced a fairly slow start, fairly slow mid-game, and now going into late, it really starts to pay off in a fantastic way. So starting to get...
Here comes the copium, guys.
To the 60s, the 70s, going into your 80s in the Druid. Know what build you want, what uniques you want to run, what you're looking for. You're going to start to be able to recognize this item's secondaries are going to be strong for this reason. This is when I started realizing ancestral rares can be quite good because they can have better stats than my ancestral legendaries, and then I can re-enchant them, remodify them, and try to get exactly what I want on the piece before I choose to put a legendary aspect, etc. on it. Going in the late game, I started to notice I really should have done a better job at saving all the legendary high roll of the aspect
until you get to the end,
so that when I go to the occultist, I have those perfect rows for the perfect gear that drops. It felt like to me that the Druid came alive post 60, level 65.
Druid starts to come alive at post 60. So all you have to do is be halfway done with the game in order for it to be good. Yeah, and also, by the way, let's look at this damage.
Right around there, once I got...
So we're doing 6,000 damage.
The modifiers behind me by getting ancestral items from the higher world tiers, getting the better pieces of gear, getting the better legendary modifiers that I needed. That's when the class really started to open up. You're going to feel like you're clearing mobs very quickly. You're going to feel like, hey, I'm kind of tanky. And you're going to be surprised at your own damage. You're also going to be surprised.
You're going to be surprised? I mean...
Damage doesn't really seem to start to fall off. Like you ramp, but it just keeps getting linear though a flat line, I'll be honest. It isn't exponentially, but it's a fairly linear increase of power as you go down things like the Paragon Point board.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Visually wise, now that we've talked about early, mid, and late game, let's talk about the visuals. The cosmetics for the Druid are insane. I mean,
and the thing is, like, Druid does look good, but if you play a Druid, this is my best advice. Don't watch anybody play any other class. You don't want to see that in your life. Just only watch other Druids and only compare yourself to other Druids. Because like, if you have to go and see some Sorcerer that's going, it's like, yeah, like, oh, you think you're popping off, and then you pull up a Barbarian and you're like, what the fuck?
Talking about the paid ones. I'm talking about the transmogs that you get just by going ahead and scrapping gear in the game and salvaging it. You get that in your wardrobe. And all of those different wardrobe costumes ended up being really good looking. So for some reason, I was enjoying all of the cosmetics that I was running into. I could do everything from looking like Goku to looking like a deer to going back to full like fur skin, look like a barbarian. Basically, there was a good variety in the visuals in which I could dress my character. The visual appeal of the abilities are really fun too. You have lightning coming down, you have a hurricane storm going around, you have a big smash of a bear.
I think the Druid visuals are great. I do.
Punch people, even being a bear the entire time with the new unique chests that allow me to be a bear all of the time. Very fun. Okay, in terms of voice acting, in terms of thematics of the character outside of the visuals, they were all fitting very well. I thought the voice actor was very good. You do hear your own voice when you're going through the primary quest.
The light has come to carry you home. Do you not see it, friend?
And I thought the deep, kind of somber type of voice of the Druid fit very well. It also seems to fit in the thematics of Diablo 4. You're a big guy, burly, lots of code environments. Sort of looks like some of the dudes up here in Alaska. I actually kind of bought it. I thought it made sense.
Sure.
It seemed very believable within the Diablo 4 universe. When it comes with playing with other players, a lot of what you're going to end up doing in a party is making sure that you are crowd controlling the enemy, because you have this constant pulverized slam that also
what about damage though? Why aren't you doing damage?
People, so you can have a constant form of CC.
Yeah.
You're also going to have shouts, so you're going to slow the enemy or reduce their damage.
Okay, so you get to slow the enemies and then you get to stun the enemies. Okay, this sounds fun.
For instance, and then you also have things like sharing your cycle and armor, where you can have damage reduction on yourself.
You get to buff the other people in the group. Of course. How could I forget?
But also share it for your teammates. So it's one of the more supportive type of builds, and I have a idea that going into the late game later on, being able to have a Druid constantly CC and stun things might end up being quite important.
That could be true.
Holy!
There were ZDPS builds in I keep saying Dark Souls, in Diablo 3. It was a big thing.
Moly, bro. Now let's talk about some drawbacks to the Druid, and we've already covered the early game is slow, so I'm not going to go into that too much. But what I am going to mention is that the legendary aspects, in order to actually get the Druid to be fairly strong, you need everything. You need your Paragon board, but you really need a lot of legendary aspects. It wasn't until I got the full complete build that I started to feel like my build really came together. So the characters that are blasting through the content at the beginning, they're going to skyrocket them a very strong start, and you're going to sit there and feel a little depressed while you watch your friends skyrocket past you with these other classes. Now, there could be certain builds in Druid that are much better early game, but I know for a fact the one that I'm playing when it was going into the late game, Werebear type of pulverized build, is very good in the late game, but it is very weak in the early. And so because of that, and the ability that you have to actually get all these different aspects to fit, and it can be very complicated not only to figure that out, but to get all of the legendary items at all of the right spots. Okay, that can be a little bit.
I feel like that's going to probably be hard for every class doing that. Yeah, I'm already depressed. Yeah, I know.
Discouraging.
What's the fun
so
of
if
this
you feel like
class?
it's fairly complicated,
I don't know.
Don't worry, it is fairly complicated. That's one of the pitfalls of Druid. It's not just get these 3 items, equip them, go, you know, shout and whirlwind or whatever maybe. You actually kind of need to have all the nuance of all the different pieces together. But if you like the challenge of it and you like the puzzle of it,
so you have to hit all 6 buttons to do half the damage that one button does in another class. Okay.
This could actually be a benefit to you. Another thing that can be a little bit of a bummer with the Druid is it seems to have fairly good AoE and crowd control, but you seem a little bit limited on single target damage. Now maybe the companion build, if we really get the werewolves built out just right, could kind of change this, and there might be some of the storm style that could change this, or a landslide earth.
I mean, Pulverize does do a lot of damage. It's just that you can't do it enough for it to be good.
Build, but for the most part it seems like if you're playing like the ones that are going to be really popular, which is the shape-shifting builds like werewolf, werebear, those single target damage can often feel a little bit lackluster unless you're doing like grizzly rage and then just ramping up with more and more criticals. Yeah, the single target damage can feel like it's going to take a little while to be able to develop, and there's probably going to be builds that are...
It's going to take a little while to be able to develop. All right, I like that. That sounds good.
Specifically more targeted at single target damage instead of the majority of them that seem to be targeted more at AoE, which really seems to be more of the specialty of the Druid, at least as far as I can tell so far.
That's a lot of stuff.
In terms of just overall enjoyability, the way it actually plays, there is a lot of repetitive motions, so you're going to be using a lot of the same ability over and over and over again when it comes to the Druid. I think this is going to, however, be par for the course when it comes to Diablo games, so I'm not going to hold that against it. But if you're actually looking for variety of gameplay, if you're looking for a good in-game, if you're looking for the opportunity to have some supportive properties when you're playing with friends, if you want something that thematically fits within the Diablo universe, like the Druid actually makes a ton of sense.
I feel like one thing the Druid will be able to do well, and I'm not like memeing about this, is I think that its survivability will probably be the highest out of all the classes. So like it will probably be good for that at least.
In the setting, in the werebear and the werewolf, all of that really makes me believe the Druid in terms of like visually, sound-wise, seeing it in the game. It's fairly immersive, though I hate to use that word because it's an ARPG, but it does fairly fit the theme of the game. And then the actual concept of the Druid itself is, if you like these very slow investment style of characters, this might actually be the class for you.
Yeah, if you like if you like going slow, you might want to play a Druid. That's true.
Now at this full early access, I got all the way to level 71 before the servers effectively are shutting off on me, and because of that is where I had to stop. But the Druid did start to feel pretty good right about where I got to.
Yeah.
Love you all. Subscribe, please, and I'll see you on the next video.
God, man. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Like, I actually want to see this legendary loot cellar thing. Man, that is just... That's sad. That is just fucking sad. Save your sanity? Yep, there's the video right there. And, Rogue? Yeah, I'll look at Rogue in a minute here, alright? You just need 100 hours full build and level 100. And at that point, it'll be good. Yeah, there's the video right there. And make sure to give it a like, give him a sub. This guy, again, like, he did Diablo Immortal a lot, and I had watched a number of his videos about it, so, you know, I mean, you play Diablo Immortal for long enough, and it's like, I've got to play the, I've got to play the class that gets cucked by Blizzard, right? I mean, like, let's be real. Let's see this. Look at Crypt's Necro Minion build. Well, let me look at this one first. I want to see what this Goblin loot cellar thing is.
I am lucky that I experienced this in the Diablo 4 early access beta.
Yeah, what is this?
This was easily my favorite part. There is a secret level in the cellars that will give you a whole bunch of legendary items. So let me explain. There's 3 tiers that I can find of cellars. There's your most basic tier, which effectively is just slay some minions. After you slay the minions, you're going to get a basic chest. You get like a blue item, some minimal rewards.
Crazy, wow.
You don't really get a whole lot at the first tier. That's the most entrance, the most common one. Then there's the second tier that you're sort of seeing right now, which this type of cellar will have an event in it. You'll slay whatever the event is going on, and then after you complete the event, you're going to get a little bit better of a reward. Not too much better. You'll get a little bit bigger chest that will have some items in it, maybe a gem, maybe some yellow items, and what have you. That's about it. You get the experience from the events just a little bit better. Then there is the ultra mega secret goblin lobby effectively in the cellar that just has a whole bunch of goblins crammed in them that will drop legendary items. You can even get
he got a unique.
See, this is world tier 3, so I'm getting uniques. I get sacred unique legendary items.
Holy shit.
And the whole cellar is just full of a bunch of goblins.
It's lit.
And this can happen randomly. So this is why you don't want to walk past your cellars thinking,
so
oh,
it
only ever has some dude in there. I have to pull a demon out of them. Some of them secretly have goblins. Now this is rarer. Okay, it is RNG, but you want to check all of them because as you can see in this video, it only took me like a minute and I got 5 legendary items.
That's nuts.
Including a sacred unique that gave me a really big bump. I used that ring for quite a bit. So I was glad I checked the cellars. You might want to consider checking the cellars
goblins.
as
Yep,
well.
there you go. That's actually crazy. I didn't even know that. Holy shit. You gonna watch a video on how Whirlwind Barbarian's bugged? No. There's no reason to watch that. Let me see Necromancer. Okay, this is level 47 Necromancer. And you can tell it's a Necromancer because they have no minions. That's right, guys. Yep, Necromancer with 0 minions. Should have the spin to win Barbarian? I will. Okay, let's see how this is. Oh, God. I just... Oh. Where's the boss? Okay, here's the boss. Let's watch the boss. The boss will be different. Here we go. I can't see this anymore. No. Okay, this is a level 70 rogue. Big dick rogue.
So today I have 100 hours of my gameplay experience on the rogue to share with you all. I want to go through some skills and things you might want to combo together when you want to use some of the different specializations.
We're going to skip ahead a little bit just so we can see some of the gameplay, okay?
The mid game, which is what I would
this is
consider
level 50.
Sort of world tier 3 and world tier 4, or between those two.
This guy's clearing pretty fast.
As you approach level 70 or 80, depending on where your build is at, that is kind of the end game. If you're able to get an end game build and actually have the legendary aspects, then you're kind of already in the end game. So it's a little bit more fluid than just here's the level, here's, you know, the point in the game that you're at. The end game pushing obviously is pretty much only nightmare dungeons, so that is something to consider. But with the mid game, you start to want to take a few defensive abilities. Dark Shroud might be an option. Maybe you want to focus on some dodge. And this is where you could start adding some traps into your build, in my opinion. Beforehand, this is
the
where
damage
it
is
starts
okay.
to be, or before it's kind of awkward to actually get some value out of traps.
Guys, we gotta watch some Barbarian shit. Like I can't. Like this is just honestly, it's just sad. Like we gotta. I can't do this anymore. Yeah.
So this item is.
Yeah.
Is very important.
Okay.
But Whirlwind works without it, and there's also other builds that evolve around like bleed that are very efficient. Like here, I'm proccing bleed on everything as well.
This is way better.
And the bracers are even more damage than the bleeds, but the bleeds themselves would be strong enough to kill this content almost as fast, basically.
It's level 100?
As you can see, even
it's
when
not
I'm
about the damage. It's not about the numbers. It's about how fast he clears.
Anyways, I mean, right now I have this arrow shrine.
Yeah, it's about how fast you're clearing, not the damage.
So the one thing I really like here about the shrines is that they...
Oh, it's so... Oh, God,
yes. Otherwise wouldn't.
Oh, it's going to be so good. Oh, my God, it's going to be so good. I'm going to be doing this in like an hour.
So while you watch the footage here, like I'm going to be running this dungeon, I think, a couple times before I level up.
It's so good, man.
I'm going to explain to you some of the further mechanics. So we talked about this.
He's playing with one hand. He doesn't need to. Like, bro, the game plays itself. Look at this. Look at that. Yeah, those were, bro, those were elites.
Seems to be additive with the World Tier
4
experience multiplier of 200%.
See,
so
that. This is World Tier 4, by the way.
5% added on top of the 200%.
This is just how it is.
You know, instead of 200% bonus XP, you get 205% bonus XP, and that's way less
damage
than
is insane.
Bonus in the end, multiplicative.
Fun gameplay, bro. You know what's really fun is sitting there with 6 buttons that don't do any damage.
Like the elixirs is good to have.
Look at this.
But
Look
it's
at this.
not really like a big deal.
It's level 95 boss.
Actually goes for the
got deep dicked
multiplayer buff, because I've heard like a lot of people say that it's unfair that you also get an extra buff when you're in the party.
No.
But this buff, guys, is not really like that.
Look at Rogue. Okay, all right. We're gonna look at Rogue. You guys want to see Rogue? All right, Rogue. All right. What video do you want me to watch? This is the Wajito video. All right.
Hi everyone, and welcome to my guide for the Twisting Blades Rogue. This is one of the fastest builds in the game, especially for the early game for leveling up. Rogue is a pretty fast class in general, and Twisting Blades is one of the strongest builds for both AoE and single target. So it has the perfect package of basically everything you want. And let's walk you through it. The heart of the build is the Twisting Blades core skill, which is a 2-step attack. So you first hit an enemy, and then after 1.5 seconds you will have those Twisting Blades come fly after you.
That's pretty good. It's not about, guys, it's not about the number on the screen, it's about how fast the NPCs die
in their path. And those so-called returning blades that you can see here deal the most damage. So the initial damage is rather low, and it's more about actually
I don't think there is a level 100 Rogue video
possible with those projectiles that come behind you. I've written both the leveling and the endgame guide for this build here on Maxroll, so you can go check out all the details in written format as well. This is the leveling setup that you will start out with. So we have the Twisting Blades, our core skill,
look at some more gameplay.
And Twisting Blades also has an upgrade that gives it cooldown reduction. So when you hit enemies with the returning blades, you actually reset your cooldowns. And there are a few of them in the build, so we have to poison. And that also concludes this guide already. I have the links in the description for
this is
the
decent
full leveling and endgame setups.
I mean, it's already, bro, it's so much better than Druid.
This build, this is a really powerful
Lash.
build.
Okay.
It is not as easy to play as most others, like this Twisting Blades, jumping around, hitting the right targets with the returning blades is maybe not for everyone, but there are also other builds on the Rogue, for example, Flurry. I'm also gonna...
Yeah, it's just like casuals who struggle with Rogue. I do think that Rogue should be the class that, like, it should be the challenging class. Like, Rogue is a higher skill cap class than, like, let's say a, I don't know, like a Sorcerer or Barbarian. Rogues are, yeah, and that's fine, by the way. So, like, Arc Lash, right? Arc Lash endgame. Arc Lash endgame demo. Okay, here we go. Let's watch this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
I'm not ready yet.
That's good. That's good. ETA is a little bit over an hour until the game comes out.
I'm not ready yet.
Not too bad, all right. They're pressing buttons, yeah. Legit 2 abilities.
I'm not ready.
That's right. I found that most of the best ARPG builds are built around one ability, and everything else empowers that one ability.
I need time.
Just like in general, I think that's the case. Ready for Q simulator? Oh, I'm not gonna have that happen. Yeah, that's not gonna happen for me. That'll happen for other people though. I'm not gonna get stuck in the queue. There's no way. Like, they would never do that to me. They'll give me like streamer priority queue or something, right? I mean, they have to. Surely they will. They'll be fine. Okay. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is just incredible. Look at that. Wow. See, this is real gameplay. No shit, it's at 13 minutes? No. It's at 4 PST, right? Which is like Pacific time. Yeah, it's 1 hour and 13 minutes. Yeah. It's. I thought it was 5 as well. By the way, I thought it was 5 like until like last night, until somebody told me like, oh, it's at 6. There's a countdown on the launcher. Yeah. Look at that. Holy shit! Look at that. That was fucking impressive. Can it solo a world boss, though? Probably, yeah. Look at that. That's nuts. What's Crackling Energy? Crackling Energy is like a, it's a mage thing, or a sorcerer thing, where, like, you channel electricity to everything around you. And each type it pulses, that's one of the like, charges of it. Yeah, that's how it works. Okay, let's see what the other ones are. Oh, Firewall Sorcerer in-game demo. Okay, what's this? Oh, this sucks dick. This fucking sucks. Why the fuck would I want to play this? This sucks. It doesn't do any damage. Why is it so bad?
I'm not ready yet.
This is the worst build I've seen in my whole life. I might as well go play a Druid. Let me see ice shards for Sorcerer. Okay. That's good.
I'm not ready yet.
He's got a pylon on. Of course he one-shot it.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, this is all pylon gameplay. Not a big deal. Okay, let's see it here. Was that pylon again? Yeah, it was. Okay, now pylon's over. All right, now let's see the actual gameplay.
I need time to prepare that.
Damn. God damn, that's actually pretty good. Yeah, I feel like that's actually good. What the fuck? Wait, that's another pylon? Wait, was it? Oh my god. Bro, it should be illegal to have a build guide where there's a pylon. We're gonna go ahead and see this.
I need time to prepare that.
Jagris, you move this fast from pylon to pylon as part of the gameplay? No, I was joking around. I know, like, there's pylons in every single area. I just want to see some raw gameplay, though. Okay.
I'm not ready yet.
All right, now we get to see how it really is. I feel like that's pretty good. Ooh! Astral Staff. Yeah, that's pretty good. Chain Lightning got nerfed? Yeah, it did. It got nerfed a bit. It's still probably good, but it's not like it was. That's high damage burst? Yeah. Waiting on Frost Nova whole time, looks like. Well, yeah, you probably have like a lot of multipliers that function with frozen enemies, so you wait until enemies are frozen, and then you spam all your abilities whenever they're frozen. That's probably what happens. I'm guessing, at least. Put this down a bit.
I'm not ready yet.
Okay. Check Dark Trap Rogue. I want to see gameplay, though, every time. I don't want to watch, like, a spreadsheet. I want to see gameplay.
I'm not ready yet.
20% chance to explode with Frost Nova? Oh, okay. Well, that's still probably some sort of fucking... Okay, here's the boss. That's pretty fucking good, I would say. I feel like that is pretty fucking good. Yeah, overall, like, damage and survivability with this seems very good. And then, okay, we have... The only Druid builds are leveling. They turned off damage. They turned off the damage so you can't see it. Look. Look, bro, like there's they made it so you can't see the damage. Oh my god. Oh god. Because it's just too much, guys. Yeah, true. They're just doing too much damage. That must be it. I just do not know what to say. Let's see. Do we have any more of these? Okay. Maybe Death Trap Rogue? Ooh, okay. This is a level 74 Rogue. Uh-huh.
I'm not ready yet.
Bro, he just got deep dick. That was 170,000 damage. Holy fuck. Look at this. And this is not a gameplay modifying pylon either. Or damage modifying pylon. Look at the... Holy... This is... What the fuck? This is really good. See, this is what I'm talking about. People say, oh, Barbarian's broken. So is this. Just be good. Just be good and do more damage.
I'm not ready yet.
I wish that they would allow you to have a health bar, a green health bar over your head, so you don't have to look down to see what your health is all the time. I would like that. PoE has that. It's better. Just play a good class? Yeah, just play the good class. Don't play the bad class. True. No, I'd hate that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you should be able to turn it off. I would like it, and so I'd want to be able to turn it on. Yeah, I don't think it should be on all the time, like mandatory. Watch some minion build? Yeah, I'll look at that in a minute. What's it got this, like, Path of Frost shit on?
I need time to do that.
Okay. Jesus, some of these are just sad. I'm gonna just be honest. Some of these are just fucking sad. But this one is good. This is a good one. Penetrating shot. Okay, this is level 50. All right, let's see what this is. He's killing level like level 50 bats. I feel like this, like, maybe it's not the best build, but, like, the sounds are satisfying.
I need more time.
That thing that I did so bad. Ooh, that single target is so not good. Oh, bro, it's very not good. Oh, bro, it is not good. I would say it's bad. Guys, I think it's bad. Need more time. Ooh, I think it's bad, bro. Like, oh, it's bad. Oh, it's so bad, bro. It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. Doesn't do any damage. Where's the fucking damage? Show level 50 Barbarian? Okay. Barbarian. Diablo 4. Gameplay. End game. See how he says best build in the game? Oh, here we go. Hammer of the Ancients. This is another build.
Hey everybody, it's Rob here. I mentioned in my previous videos, I've been playing and testing a pre-launch version of Diablo 4. And I've taken an in-depth look into the end game and the Barbarian class in particular.
Skip a bit ahead.
I've played like all the different mechanics.
Okay.
Some monsters. So yeah, I'm playing the triple shout here. Ground Stomp to stun them, Wrath the Berserk for even more damage and full regeneration, and of course the Hammer. You see here, like when I smash, it hits the monsters for like 2 million. I saw there 1 million.
Yeah.
And like there's a bit of a variance there for sure with
yeah,
the
definitely
and stuff. But you can see my shouts are like
uh-huh.
pretty much permanent. Like they have really good uptime. I have a lot of items, and
I feel like this damage isn't like super insane. Like, it's good damage, but it's not, like, super insane, crazy damage. Still level 100. Okay, alright, fine. Like, where's a Barbarian? See, it's just one guy that somehow did all the builds. Minion Necromancer, good or bad for endgame?
Hey guys, CatDany here with the Diablo 4 video leading into the launch of Diablo 4. And I want to talk about minions. The Necromancers. First off, you can check out the links in the descriptions below. I will be posting a ton of build guides and guides in general for Necromancers, among other things, on the Icy Veins website. Behind me here, you'll see the first initial guide that we posted, which is the Necromancer leveling guide for Diablo 4, which has been tested and confirmed. It's absolutely beautiful.
As his go-to guy for Minions PoE. Yeah.
There's currently in the work at the time of this recording 3 endgame guides for Necromancer, being Blood, Bone, and Shadow. And I will say that I firmly believe that Shadow Necromancer is very likely going to be one of the strongest Necromancer builds in the entire arsenal or toolkit that the Necromancer supplies to the game. But what about minions? Well, minions had a bit of a rough ride. First, they completely decimated the nerfing of them and made them completely irrelevant for usage in any type of form at all.
Yeah, they were so bad.
They said, whoa, whoopsie.
Oops.
Dropped the bomb on this one. And then they, well, buffed their survivability. Now, with the information we have available to us, I can genuinely say that I've bent over backwards trying to figure out how to make them viable during the early stage of the game, the campaign, and see if that is something that they can work with the toolkit that's available for the Necromancer class. And no matter how much I go about it, I feel like they are not going to be able to perform well at all. The only way you can make it work is if you do some sort of hybrid approach, using a bone skill or using a blood skill combined with a bunch of minions. The problem with that approach is that if you just shove enough points into the bone or the blood skill that you decided to use, doing that will be a better performing build than trying this hybrid shenanigan with the minions.
That's so dumb, man. Like how is it that there's no good minion build?
At least allegedly from what
it doesn't even make sense.
However, there is the possibility of looking at the Paragon boards that is available to us, which is really cool in general, in my opinion, because the Paragon boards that we can see, such as the Cult Leader, allows us to get some absolutely crazy nodes for minions in general. Not just damage, but most importantly,
it's like 6% more armor. It's not that the minions can't do damage, it's that they can't stay alive.
There's a lot of minion survivability nodes here as well. And this makes me believe that there is a possibility that if you focus enough Paragon levels into scaling damage reduction and your offensive scaling, there is a very high likelihood that we can see minion builds be a functional thing for the end game.
I just feel like you spend all your points on minion life, well then where are you getting your damage from? If you're building all towards minion life, then you're not building all towards damage.
But the problem is, you don't get access to the Paragon board until you're level 50 and then beyond. So I'm not confident the minion will be playable. I'm not sure how the community will react to this. I guess it kind of was something people expected based of how Diablo 3 has been perceived and handled.
Yeah,
by
I think
Blizzard
that's so
when it
weird,
comes to the
man.
minion archetype. But I do want to know what you guys have to say about this, because these are my takes, and I do believe that I have somewhat of a decent idea of what goes on when it comes to minion or archetype, genre of builds, if you will, when it comes to ARPG in general, coming from Path of Exile originally.
Yeah.
But do let me know what you guys feel about this. I do think that, again, with enough points, I think we can make it work. I do fear
I think no doubt. Like, if you put enough points into it, you'll definitely make it work, but you'll do that at the expense of your damage.
Even if we can make it work, that it will still be a less performing build or a lower performing build compared to what I believe to be the strongest, going to be the Shadow, and then the Bone and Blood will be about on par, I believe. And then last but definitely the least effective will be the Minion, which also requires the Paragon Board. And I think it's crazy, because I would love to have a Minion army running around with me, clearing the map, like clearing the game.
Crypt
like,
video?
That's how you want to play. A lot of people want to
Crypt
clear,
didn't test
clear
it
the
for
game that
endgame?
way. But let me know in the comments.
Yeah, like, you've got to see what this is in endgame. Because I'm sure that, like, you know, for lower tier stuff, the minions are probably okay. But it's like, remember, like, that one video where it was like, hey, minions are good. All you have to do is just play on world tier 1 all the time.
What you guys think of it? And I'll catch you guys in the next one. There's going to be a lot of Diablo 4 content coming out on this channel, so make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video for more content as well. That helps you praying to the YouTube algorithm.
50 minutes, yeah.
But definitely leave the comment down below. That helps extra for the prayer for the algorithm gods. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, stay safe and keep rocking as always.
Fuck, man. I'm gonna link you guys the video. Am I starting tier 1 or tier 2? Tier 2. There's the video right there. Gazzy does a ton of, like, PoE, like, minion build guides too, so I would kind of trust his insight in knowing, like, what would work and what would not work. I just think it's so weird how there's no really good minion build for Necromancer. Like, what is the logic in that? That's crazy.